Okay, Rabbi Yisai, Shalom Aleichem, here we are. Parshas Bereishis. And Chaim should do well, B'siyat D'Shmaya. I know this is a good vibe in the yeshiva right now. It's probably because Pence just creamed Kamala Harris. But, you know, so everyone's feeling pretty good. But the question is, it's Bereishis. Parshas Bereishis. No, Bereishis bar laki meisa shemayim ve'esa oretz. Bereishis, back to the beginning. We started the Torah again. We started the Torah, and most years, my friends, you know, you actually don't get that much time to learn Bereishis. Usually Simchas Torah is somewhere in the middle of the week, and Bereishis is, the Shabbos is sometimes a day, 2 days, a couple days after. This week we have an entire week to learn Bereishis, which means the simple reason why we don't really learn Bereishis so often for a whole week. The tzaddikim say, because who can really understand Bereishis? You understand Bereishis? Do we really know what's going on in the garden? What was Adam really doing in the garden? What's the snake? The snake was bipedal. These are very deep concepts. The entire idea of Bereishis is very profound, very beyond us. But this year it happens to be that it seems like Hashem wants us to go deeper into Bereishis than in most years, because we have an entire week to do so. So let's get started. It's almost hard to even begin Bereishis. You know, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai wrote an entire sefer, 70 drushes, just different ways to spell Bereishis. You know, like word jumble. 70 different combinations, some of them are repeated, of just Bereishis. I'll give you a couple. Bereishis is bris eish. The letters of a bris of eish. That Hashem made the heavens and the earth to make a covenant of fire, to make Eish HaTorah, to make the Eish. Bereishis is Yeraboishis, to have a certain amount of awe and embarrassment, busha. Bereishis, my Rebbe always says, is the letters Re'eh Shabbos, to see Shabbos. The whole of Shemayim va'aretz was only created that a Jew should see Shabbos. Bereishis bar laki meisa Shemayim ve'esa aretz. Bereishis is Re'i Shabbos, just to see Shabbos Kodesh. You know, by the way, what was going on before the Beis of Bereishis? Anybody know? Before the Beis of Bereishis was Hashem sitting Kaviyachal in Shalashudis. Hashem is sitting in Shabbos, Kaviyachal, wanting to make Bereishis, yearning for Bereishis. It says that the Torah is written black fire on white fire. Eish chayra al gabe eish levana. Black fire. And we've mentioned this many times before. The black fire is what we generally read. But everybody knows that you have to learn what the white fire is all about also. What does it mean, the white that's between the letters? In many places in the Torah, there's spaces, there's gaps. And really no letter can touch the second. Every letter has to be completely separated, or the entire Sefer Torah is possible. It has to be what's called a revach ben a Parshas, mukaf kvil. Every single letter has to be spaced apart, because there's so much going on between the letters. And really there's much more white parchment than there is black. Which means all the part that you're reading in the Sefer Torah, there's much, much more that is in the white part. One part of the white is the Shabbos before creation, where Hashem is sitting there, Kaviyachal, wanting to create a world. And Chazal say on the first word of the Torah, Bereishis, Bishvil Yisrael Shenikar, that the Jews are called the beginning. We don't talk that much about what was going on before creation. except in the Sifrei Kabbalah. They talk about how it happened that Hashem is creating the world. And we can hear right now the tefillahs for Reb Chaim at the Kaiser of Addis. Should be Zoicha Mamish, Refuah Shleima and all. Klal Yisrael, Refuah Shleima and Sus of the Torah, Sus of Tefillah. And Hashem wanted to create the world because Hashem is good. And it's the way of good, explains the Ramchal and the other Mekubalim, to bestow good. We don't know really why Hashem made the world, except that He wanted to. The closest thing we know is that Hashem is good, and it's the way of good to give good. And Hashem was the greatest good, therefore must bestow the greatest good, the ultimate good. And that ultimate good is creation. And the purpose of that was to bestow that good to what's called Bereishis, the beginning. That's called Klal Yisrael. You might not have known this, but all of the world could have been Klal Yisrael. The entire world had the opportunity to become Klal Yisrael, as explained in the Derech Hashem, and only Abraham fully chose it. But the whole world had that opportunity. And that's the Bereishis, Bisfil Yisrael, Shenikar Reishis. The Sfarim points something else out, that Bereishis is Beis Reishis. The Torah should have started Reishis. What's Bereishis? What's the Beis? Be. Be is Gematria too. Bereishis. There's always a second beginning, as Sfarim say. You thought that your life was over. You thought that you're never going to get that. You're never going to be able to make that deal. You're never going to be able to become a great learner. You're never going to be able to do this. Never going to be able to do that. And then comes Bereishis, Beis Reishis. You can always get up again. You thought there's only one beginning. There's another beginning. There's Beis Reishis. There's always another beginning. The whole beginning of the Torah is telling you there's not just one beginning. It's not like your life started when you came out of the womb and that was it. There's Beis Reishis. And then you fell. You're always getting up again and again and again. Mamish. Beis Reishis. What a chizik. There's always another beginning. Beis Reishis. And the Kodesh Baruch Hu was telling that to us right now in Bereishis, Beis Reishis. There's always another beginning. There's always Shabbos Kodesh, Beis Reishis, Yira Shabbos, Baratish. The Sfarim explained that Bereishis is also the letters Bara. Hashem made a Tish. He made it, Hamish. Comes to the Tish. That's a proof that the first language is really Yiddish. Baratish. Or Aramaic, they say, Tish is a Shepsela. Hashem made a Tish. Hashem made a Shepsela. Hashem made what's a Shepsela in English? Sheep. Hashem made a sheep. This is already getting us ready for Nisan, for Korban Pesach. Bara Tish. Yira Boishis. It goes on and on and on. It's beyond what's going on here. Right, we know that Bereishis is Berashbi, with Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Berashbi. I just want to point one Nakuda out. There's so much, and this whole week, Klal Yisrael, Chaver, just go through the Parsha, just read Bereishis. This is a week you have the whole week. Just start with Rashi. If you finish Rashi on the Parsha this week, you will be the man. How else could I say it? You will be a champion amongst men. Rashi on the Parsha, Bereishis. There was a famous Maisa, that there was a Yid, and he was writing some Kabbalah Sfarim, and he went to his Rebbe to get a Haskama, to see if this is a good Sefer. And he came to the Rebbe and he had this big fat manuscript. And the Rebbe looked at it and said, can't print a Sefer so big, so long on Kabbalah. Cut it, make it shorter. He came back, still it was like 1,000 pages shorter. Came back again. 500. Gotta cut his stuff. You can't. It's too long. Came back. Read 100 pages. All of Kabbalah. Way too long. Cut it shorter. He came back. 13 pages. It's way too long. Shorter. Came at 1 page. All of Kabbalah. Did I ever looked at the page? It's much too long. Shorter. The chassid came back, and he had 2 words on a page. 2 words. The Rebbe said, it's perfect. Print it. All of Kabbalah in 2 words. What did it say? See Rashi. You underestimate Rashi, my friends. You don't understand. Rashi's gold. My Rebbe always says, Rashi's gold, Taisus is silver. But Rashi's gold. Rashi's gold. Buy gold, by the way. Buy gold and silver. That's the side, Nakuda. Rashi's gold. Rashi's gold. So it's all in Rashi. If you can make on Rashi this week, you've made it. You can, everyone gets excited about it for the Ramban, and you can peek in that also. But just go through Rashi. Just spend this week in Bereishis. You have time also. You got a couple days off to just do your own thing. Mamish. Bereishis. So the hour is late. Let's just say one little shtickle. So there's an amazing pasuk. HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes Adam. He creates man. Even the name Adam. Adam is the Lashon Adama. From the Adama. Adam's made from the Adama. The Sfarim point out that Adama, that Adam is the same letters as Adam ala Elyon, Adameh. Dameh is I'm similar to above. I'm Adama, but I'm similar to above. You see that also in the word Adam. Adam is Aleph, Dam. Aleph, the Aleph. Aleph, if you spell out Aleph, it means Aluf. It means like a general. It means the king. Hashem, who's the Aleph, who's Aluf. He's beyond. Alufo Shalalam is in the Dam. You and I, we have Dam, a bunch of flanken, and we have an Aleph that was put into us. And this week, more than ever, you can feel that. You could feel the Alufo Shalalam, Hashem breathing into you. It's in the pasuk. Vayipach ba'ap of Nishmas Chaim. And Hashem gave us, He blew into our nostrils the breath of life. The Nishmas Chaim. The Nishmas Chaim. So it's very, very important to breathe. We'll do more breathing meditations another time. But to learn to breathe. And it's not for naught that this disease that's going around the world is a breathing disease. That we have to learn to breathe properly in a very deep way. We generally breathe very shallowly, if you haven't noticed. It's a sign that people are nervous and they're anxious. When people observe people breathing, it teaches you a lot about them. Now, if a person breathes like this, you know how much of their lung they're actually filling? A very short amount, because they never actually fully open the lung. The lung is like a bellows. Anyone ever have an old-time fireplace in your house? A bellows. The whole thing opens up. So if you can breathe deep from the belly and then fill the entire lung cavity, you're pushing air into the deeper part of the lungs. Very, very important to learn to breathe deeply. I always say people who breathe deeply, live deeply. People who breathe deeply, live deeply. People who breathe shallow, it's a very shallow life. It's sad. When you breathe deeply, you bring oxygen into the whole system, which means your brain is thinking better, your body is getting rid of inflammation, it feels better. When you're breathing, it's not for naught that Hashem breathed in the neshama. There's a lot to do with breathing, but it's beyond us right now to go into it. So just one point. After HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes Adam, in Bereishis, it goes back and forth sometimes in order, in the chronological sequence of Bereishis. But one thing that happens, Hashem goes through all the days. Yom Echad, Yom Sheni, all the days of the week. Shabbos Kodesh, Vayechulu HaShamayim. And then the pasuk says, V'kol siach hasadeh. This is Perek Beis, pasuk Hey, chapter 2, Verse 5. V'kol siach hasod terem yeh ba'aretz. And it was before any of the grasses of the field, of the land had burst forth, and all the grasses of the field before it had sprouted. Ki loy himtir Hashem Elokim ala aretz. Hashem had not made rain yet. V'odem ein lavoy des Adam, and there was no man to work the land. Wait a second. I thought the grasses and the herbage and all the fruit trees was on day 3. What do you mean? What's going on? Didn't you guys have that picture in your mind? By the way, do not watch any of the biblical movies that were made. Anything. I think they did one on Noach. It's mamish kfira, and it puts images into your mind of how it looked in creation. By the way, there's very, very bad imagery in some of those movies that are twisting and are anti-creation, even though it seems to be like it's a movie about creation. No, it's actually flips the narrative, as we know Hollywood does. So be very careful. Don't watch these movies. They really disturb the inner picture. But a person who just learns the Torah, the simple, they're also not made by people who mamish know Torah. The simple reading of the verses would imply that on day 3, it was ganz lebendig. The trees are growing, the fruits. I would have imagined that Adam came into a world that was totally luscious. Who had that picture in their heads? On day 3, it was like, and all of the herbage came forth. Anyway, right? Just like waterfalls. I picture something out of when I went to the Nepali coast in Kauai. Oh my goodness. You'll Google that one later. Like they say in Me'asharim, you'll giggle that one later. Nepali coast. It's basically the most beautiful area in the entire world. It's gorgeous. It's mamish gorgeous. It's so beautiful. And Adam Arishon is like in this gorgeous, luscious environment. But the pasuk here says that there was nothing there. Look at Rashi on that pasuk. Rashi bavorns it. Rashi, it's true. I thought they were all sprouted from the 3rd day. Sheboy kosev etaitza aretz. Let the land sprout forth. Adayin lo yotzu. Nothing had yet pierced through the ground. They were there in potential. Hashem said, let the land burst forth all of its vegetation, everything, all the beautiful greenery of the world. And all of a sudden, instantly, everything was there at the surface. Like a nuclear bomb, ready to sprout, but not yet piercing the surface. Ela al pesach pnei akarka omdu. It was all right on the ground level, not yet sprouted forth ad yom shishi, until the 6th day. Adam was born into a world that was a desert. Nothing. He didn't see anything. The lama. Why did Hashem, such a beautiful question. Rashi. Why did Hashem prevent all of the vegetation from sprouting forth? So the very verse itself explains. Ki lo himtir Hashem Elokim ala aretz. Because Hashem didn't bring rain. There was no rain. And we just started saying, Mashiv u'roch ha'meri geshem, Goshem. We're not yet davening mamish for rain, saying Talamota livracha, but we're mentioning it. All the tiniest yidden. We're getting ready. We're warming up for rain. Hashem didn't bring rain yet, and it always comes now in the beginning. Ki lo himtir Hashem Elokim ala aretz. Why did not Hashem bring the rain? Umat tam lo himtir. Bring the rain. Why not bring the rain? Bring the rain. Lefisha odom ein lavei des adama. Because man, there was no person, there was no human there to work the land. Now, what does it mean to work the land? Look at Rashi. Ve'ein mi shemakir b'toivason. There was nobody who could appreciate Hashem's goodness. And therefore, you think I'm just going to make the world sprout with vegetation if no one appreciates it? What do you mean? I'll appreciate it. Just let me see all the good stuff. V'rak adam. Watch this. This is so deep and so straightforward. Only when man came, v'yoda, v'havin shagasham hein sarach la'olam, that a man should come and know that the world cannot go on if there's not rain. You know, who controls the rain? As powerful as somebody thinks they are, do they really control the rain? I think Mr. Burns tried to control the sun one time, if I remember correctly. But I don't know, did he ever try to make a rain machine? Probably. He was a pretty evil guy. Mr. Burns? No, but the idea of controlling it. He had to control the world. Can we make rain? You could have all the best earth, the best climate. You could have the best seeds from the best heirloom crops, all of the best fertilizer, the best organic permaculture, everything. If the rain doesn't come, what's going to happen to your crops? Babka. Nisht. Nothing. And if there was no man to appreciate the rain, it's not worth making it. Hispal aleim v'yarda ala aretz v'tzamchu ha'ilonis v'hadashoyim. Only when Adam came to the world that he should know that we need rain. We need rain. Rain also means water. We need water. And where does water come from? From Hashem. That Adam should daven. He should daven and appreciate that we have nothing without you, Hashem. Nothing. Nothing will sprout forth. And Adam starts to daven, and the rains come, and everything explodes from the ground. This is so amazing. This is so amazing to think. Hashem wanted people to appreciate goodness. And oftentimes when you just have it sitting in your lap, you don't appreciate it. But when you realize that I need this for existence, I need this for existence, you daven. The whole beginning of creation is built on davening. The whole continuation. If there's no rain, there's no creation. There's no life. Hashem could have made it in a different way, but he chose to make it in a way that rain means life. Do you know what the Kohen Gadol davens for in the Kodesh HaKadoshim?
Bless rain.
For rain. For rain. I would have thought come on. Something, I don't know. Rain is like, yeah, rain. Yeah, just whatever, rain that comes and goes. It's kind of uncomfortable. You know why he davens for rain? This is just a side point. Because there's people called the Holchei Drachim, the ones who are traveling around. You guys ever got caught in the rain with all your stuff? What are you davening for when you're caught in the rain with all your stuff? Hashem, you stop this rain now! And are you davening with a fleishik alev? Yeah, your mom is davening. Stop the rain, please. You mean it. The Kohen Gadol, and those tefillahs that a Jew, when a guy is with, his stuff in the rain, and he's just, it's getting ruined. You're like, it's almost hard to relate to that now. I was thinking one time, one of the guys was going from Best Buy to his car, and it was just with a fancy old thing from there. It was raining, and this thing get ruined. Nowadays, everything ships to your front door. No problems. So it's hard to relate to them. But the tefillah of a person who's caught in the rain, which means when you pray for something with all of your heart, when you're really wet, it just soaks. It's and you daven, Hashem, please stop. The Kohen Gadol to counteract that rain. He's davening for rain. You know, rain means shefa. Rain means bracha. Rain is a male quality. The land is a female quality. The rains shower down and bring life to the land. Adam has to daven for the rains. You have to daven that there should be shefa, there should be bracha coming down to, so to speak, allow the seed to become fertile and the land should burst forth fruits. There needs to be a lot of tefillahs, just like having a child. It says that there's 3 partners in having a child: the husband, the wife, and Hashem. Tefillahs, davening. The whole beginning of creation is Hashem says, I'm not going to just give you I'm not going to give you the Nepali coast. You have to daven for it. You have to daven. And I want you guys to think, Chevra, a little bit. What is so important in this world that I can't live without? That if I didn't have that thing, what would I be? What would I be? Now it's hard to recognize it when you already have it. Hashem is saying, if Adam, you would have been born into a world within the Pali coast, you wouldn't have appreciated it. Anyone ever lose their wallet? Should happen to nobody. And if anyone ever did, and you haven't found it, say, Amar Binyamin. Amar Binyamin. Hakol b'chezkas sumen ad sheyiftach HaKadosh Baruch Hu eseineyim. Elakad Meraneni, Elakad Meraneni, Elakad Meraneni, and give some tzedakah to the Meir Balanes. It's good. Everyone is like they're blind until Hashem opens their eyes. If you ever lose something like your wallet, wow, do you appreciate when you find it? But how much do we appreciate when we just have it in our pocket? How much do we appreciate it? You ever heard the expression, distance makes the heart grow fonder? It's very Jewish, by the way. It's very Jewish. It's very, very Torah-dik. Yeah? Ah, Bosh Kivanti. When you're far away, there's a feeling of, I miss. I want to be back. I want to be back. I'm yearning for it. I appreciate what I had. That's a big part of tshuva. We don't have time for it now, but I'm going to leave you guys with a question. I'm going to think about this question the whole week. Was Adam supposed to eat from the tree or not? And I want to just quote an interesting Gemara for you. The Gemara says, the Gemara in Menachos, that Olam Hazeh, that this world is created with a hay, and the world to come, Olam Haba, is created with what letter? Chevra? With a Yud. I'd then call me. Created the Yud. Okay, very good. That's the Shem Ka. The Ka Hashem Tzur Olamim. Yetzer Olamim. The Ka, with Yud and a Hey, Hashem created, fashioned the worlds. This world with a Hey, the world come with a Yud. Hashem should make everybody safe. The Gemara says, why is this world made with a Hey? Anyone know? Ki Pesach l'shavim. Gemara Menachos, Chav Tesam Beis. Because Hashem wanted to make an opening for people to do tshuva. You know, what's the hay all about? This world's like a hay, right? The big hay. Someone says, hey, it's a big hay. So the big hay is that the whole world is, you're inside of a hay, right? There's only one problem. Everyone knows about gravity, right? What's at the bottom of the hay? Oy vey. It's like, woo. It's a big pit down there. Be careful. So you look down, and I'm in the Grand Canyon, like, even up in the new building, it's pretty good. We have like the glass floor. If you've ever done it at CN Tower, that's pretty stark. I'm sure there's other ones in Dubai. Nowadays we can take a flight over there if you want. So, if anyone, you know, it's a bit, that's like this world. When you look down, it's actually pretty easy, Hashem Yirachem, to fall out of the world. What does that mean, to fall out? To, you understand me. To fall out. To go in the wrong direction. To move away from emes. To nebuch. To get involved in not nice things. But Hashem says, don't worry. When you fall out of the hay, you can come back because there's a little opening at the top. And you could, it's on the Gemara, you could just pop back in. You just, just pop yourself right back into the world. And you know what? If you fall again down, so you just pop back in. And if you fall again, Bereishis. You can always begin again. Just pop back in. And this whole world is like doing hakafas around the yud. Just going all the ways around the yud. Again and again. So my friends, if this world was created with a hay, why is there a need for a hay? If Adam would have never eaten, then there would have been he would have never fallen out. I mean, what do you mean the world was created with a hay? I thought the hay is to give people, they should come back. So Hashem made the world with a hay, but I thought Adam shouldn't have eaten. Maybe he wasn't supposed to. Hashem, what are you making the world with a hay for? Make it with a yud. The yud is perfect. The yud is just that spiritual point. What's with the hay? What's with the hay? You think about this. The world's made with a hay. But maybe it should have been made with a yud. Was Adam supposed to eat? I would have said no. We all grew up. Of course not. It was the worst thing ever. And it was. But what was really going on? What was going through Adam's mind? We'll never fully understand. You understand? These are, like we said, this is Bereishis here. This is beyond. But this week, dive into that question. Was, like they say, what's version 1.0, right? Version 1.0 is like, no, that version, first version, then there's a contingency plan, right? This is plan A, plan B. There you go, plan A and plan B. Plan A is always the right, what you want to happen. Plan B is oivei, contingency. What was plan A? Eat or not eat, my friends? Plan A? Could you even say those words? We can't say them, so why make the world with a hay? There's other rayas also. There's other questions. Why Hashem made Adam from ha'adama, from the earth? It means from the place that the mizbeach was going to be built. What do you need mizbeach for tshuva for? What's with the mizbeach? Hashem, who said anything about needing to do tshuva? Why is it being built out of that place? What's really going on? Plan A or plan B, my friends? And Bereishis, there's always another beginning. And Re'i Shabbos, to see Shabbos, to look at Shabbos Kodesh, to mamish get involved with the bris eish, and to be makir the toiv, to think now in my life, what could I not live without? And to start appreciating it, start davening for it. They say you daven for your wife, all these years you're davening and davening, and then you get married, Baruch Hashem Mazel Tov. Do you still daven for your wife? What do you mean? I'm married. I got the Yeshua. That's it. Really? Are you really so close to her? Why aren't you davening to be closer and closer? Just one more question, because Eli got me excited about this. What's the halacha? You have to be soimer ge'ula tefillah. Right? Ga'al Yisrael, Kriya Shema, and then tefillah. The Gemara says in Berachas, there can't be any interruption. There's a question about Yisgadal, about Kaddish. It's not an interruption, it's a transition. You have to make Ge'ula and then Tefillah. If I were to have made the Siddur, Baruch Hashem, that I did not, I would have probably thought, what should you put first? Redemption or prayer? What would be the normal sequence? Redemption first or prayer first? and then redemption. I would have thought the normal sequence is you pray and you get redeemed. Right? That seems to make sense. So what's with redeeming? Ga'al Yisrael! Thank you. The Geula. And now we daven. We're redeemed and now we're still davening? What are we davening? After you're redeemed? After you're redeemed, you're still davening? There could be such a thing. Going more and more and more and more to be davening. Hashem, I know that I have a lot of things. But Hashem made Adam in a world there was nothing. You have to appreciate it. And now that we have it all, let's daven for it. You can daven for it even when you have your wallet in your pocket. You can daven for the people that are already in your life to make you so much closer to them. And let's daven for all of humanity. Let's daven for Klal Yisrael. Let's daven that, we keep the world from going really crazy over the next 2.5 weeks. Let's keep the world safe. Let's daven for everyone's health and well-being. Let's daven for Bereishis. This is the beginning of humanity. And look at, we're here to daven for all of humanity. Let's daven and learn Bereishis like we've never learned it before. It's mamish. Let's make sure that Eshet Torah, there's a reason why we keep the lights on all night in the Beis Medrash, if not just the back ones. Steiging. Bereishis. A whole week of Bereishis. And Ayin Rashi, it's all there in Rashi. Everyone should have a wonderful week. And we give a bracha right after Simchas Torah. It's called the Gesunte Winter. Everyone should have a good, strong winter. And someone came up to me today as I was taking down my sukkah. A nice yid from the neighborhood, and he said, Gesunte Winter. I said, Gesunte Winter. He said, this year it means a little bit more. Strong, a healthy winter. In years past, you just say Gesunte Winter, like that. That's like what you say, right? Shavua Tov. That's like how you greet somebody. Shavua Tov, a good davach. Gesunte Winter. This year we feel like, Hashem, please, be'emes, should be gesund. Humanity should be gesund. Klalis, all of our families should be gesund. We should be Zercha Mamish, the Binyan Beis HaMikdash, Mashiach Tzidkeinu, dancing, all of us, all of our families, all of Klalis, all of humanity, right here in the Beis HaMikdash. She'abona b'mher v'yamein amen v'amen. She'abona Beis HaMikdash b'mher v'yamein v'sein chelkeinu v'soy vasecha.